educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. From the offices of Duke & Duke, 100 South Broad Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Folks, I posted the chart up here of Ethereum. That's the one that's got the most action going right now, from what my friend John Jameson tells me. But folks, what you're looking at here is a triple ABCD pattern. In other words, there's three ABCD patterns ending at the same price at 2010, and it missed it by 10 cents. It went 10 cents higher than what the projection was. That was spot on, and now you can see it's down 20% in just a matter of a few days. So this is a triple ABCD is what it is. You don't see those very often, but when you do, you have to pay attention to them. Now, I'm not going to go through the stuff in the stock market because we spent all last week with Jeff Huge, week before last, talking about, and also Stan Harley, about the fact that this was a pretty significant top up in this area. We're down a few days now, Dow down about 500 points, which is no big deal yet, but it started the way that it should have. I believe that I've said last week, and I also said it in the newsletter, I believe that we are at a major high here of substantial proportions, and I think we're going to see a big move to the downside. Our really first indication will be the rally that we get. If we only get a 382 rally in here, then that's going to be altogether different. That means it's going to be really, really nasty, but it's a little too early, to really call that. Now, we're going to give you a free trip today, folks. We're going to go across the pond over here to England and take a look at the FTSE. We'll get this up here right now. The FTSE basically is made up of stocks that are not even in London, the European stocks. But you can see here, we have the big ABCD down, and then this is election season, folks. That means they're out getting money. Don't ever give them to it once, because they'll never stop. You can see the 3-1-3-5 pattern in the green. That led us down to your completion of your ABCD pattern. So we're just in a range here. Nothing much really happening here in the FTSE. I apologize for the phone, but there's nothing else I can do about that. And then we'll fix it right now and take it off the air. Hold on one second. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get on the old speed train, and we're going to get over to the old country of Germany. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Here we go, folks. Get this up here with the Scheiße sind Sie Gummihosens. Hold on here. Here's what we got. This is a beautiful 1-3-5 pattern on the bottom. You'll see we made the 382 rally to the upside, and then it said goodbye, and you can see what's happened to it. Folks, that's what I'm waiting for, to see what happens here in our market. If we get this little 382 bump Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, anytime this week, whenever this bottom comes in, and it will, watch the rally coming back, because that's going to be the one that tells you whether we're right or wrong or not. Because if you only get a 382 rally, guess what? We're going to go down big time. Now, we've had some really great information from one of our friends over in Austria. Was kind enough to send me some information about the 382. He got very excited about it. I want to post the chart that he was looking at, because he was saying that the real value, hold on, just get this up here. We're going to talk about natural gas here, because it's been in a very, very strong move. And he was telling me, but you can see the 382 retracements and everything, but he said the real value is the entry into the 382. He hasn't shared that with me yet, but he said he was going to. Frankly, I think the 382 stands on its own. Now, you notice that we went all the way up to this level right here, okay, and the 382 was right here. This market came all the way back down here, folks. It dropped $4,000 down to $9,400, and now it's rallied back to 78% of that. So it's having some really big swings. And the pullback that we had off of this move right here went just a tad below the 382. Went just a little above the 50%. So it was about 0.44. And boy, it didn't stay there more than a heartbeat and rallied $3,000. So this natural gas is rocking and rolling. I don't know if you know it or not, if you have any friends over across the pond in London, Ireland, some of those places, Scotland. They have a bill for, hold on, all of a sudden my limit minders have started to go off, so I've got to turn those off. Give me a second. And it happens to be with the old stock market heading down to the old level that we think we're going to is much lower. Okay, hold on 1 second here, folks. Something's wrong. Just give me a second here. Oh, dear. Cascade. Uh-oh, now I'm in big trouble. All right, hopefully you'll get that taken care of, but I thought all the limit minders were off, but they're not, sorry. Telephone once, limit minders a second time. That's not something that I should have been getting that work done a whole lot better. Hold on just a minute. I'm having a little bit of difficulty here. I don't know. Problem is, there we go. I'll get this fixed out for just 1 second, folks, and then we'll be okay. All right? All right. Okay, now I mentioned that I don't know where the bottom is in the stock market on this move, but when we get that bottom, and remember now, we had a high in the S&P around 4237. We're 80 handles lower than that right now. We're 800 handles holder lower in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So we're going to get a bounce. I don't know when it's going to come from, and why it's going to happen, short covering, whatever it happens to be. But when you get to that point, you're going to have a really good shot at doing something, that is pretty good. Now, if you remember last week, we had Mr. Z come on talking about wheat. That wheat looked like it was going to be a really big mover and stuff like that. Well, today, one of the things that we were watching to see how the market reacted to the wheat market. That's what we were trying to look at. Let me get this up here, and we'll get it up here to let you see it. Now, remember, we talk about 382 here all the time, and we'll get this up here one more time here. Share your screen. Okay, now this is just a 15-minute chart on wheat. But as you see, we made the low back here. We had the rally up, and look what happened. We make a nice little 382 right in here at the bottom here, and we immediately rallied 25 cents. So that 382 will help you get in the markets, and that's the main thing. It's not foolproof, for heaven's sakes, folks, because sometimes these things fail, and when they fail badly. But what you've got to do is you've got to put your stop in and say, okay, let's move on to the next one, because if the first one's wrong, the second one's probably going to be okay. But one thing we haven't seen so far is a big string of 6 or 7 382s that have lost in a row. We have not seen that. And that in itself tells us for strong trending markets, this is very, very important. Let's stay tuned. 877-927-6648. The euro is next.
Of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve in a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I posted the chart of the euro. This is the daily chart. As you can see, that trend line that's there, I just drew that to show you the connections that it hits on these rallies. And that's what we're looking for now, folks, is we're going to get a bounce here. Not maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, maybe next week. But when we get that bounce, make sure you follow it, because if we only get a 382 in that stock index, sayonara. Anyway, we talked about the reasoning for that last week, the fact we had that big 135 pattern in the Dow Jones and also in the NASDAQ. But right now what we're talking about is the euro. And as you can see, the euro appeared to be getting ready to make a double bottom. And we mentioned in the newsletter the last 3 or 4 weeks that that bottom is going to be taken out. And today it is being taken out. That leads to what you're looking at in the euro on a little bit longer time frame. Let's get this up here so we can all see it. And then it'll be a lot easier for everybody to see it. And that'll be the weekly chart. And once we see that, you'll get an idea. If you like ABCDs, we've got an ABCD coming down here just a tad above 95.90. So we're looking at around 96 in the euro. Now, if we get that, you'll notice here that we will have a 3 drive to a bottom pattern. There's drive 1, there's drive 2, and there's drive 3. We also had another one. If you remember, we had drive 1, drive 2, drive 3, and we had the little rally. Each of these rallies were very similar. They happened to be 382, and now look what we're looking at. See, we're taking out these lows now. That's what we've done. We're already below this level, so where we're headed here is down to the 96 level. That's not a, it's been there before. In August of 2020, it was trading at around 84, and from 84, it went to 160. So it has a lot of volatility that you sometimes wish for when you're, pattern recognition swing trader. So talking about that, let's take a look at the dollar index, because hopefully we'll take a look at the dollar index, and by golly, we do here. Let's get it up so we can see it. And then we want to talk a little bit about some of the other currencies that are here, because J.C. Parrott's of Astro of All-Star Charts not Astro charts, All-Star Charts sent us some really good stuff on currencies, and I'll share that with you in a moment. But you can see here that we're almost through that double top already today, because it looks like this is nothing more like this ABCD like we saw in the euro. We're going to see the same AB. There's your C leg right here. There's your A leg. There's your B leg. There's your C leg, and that's going to take you up to about the 115 to 120 level in the dollar index. Now let's take a look at what JC sent us about some of these currencies, because they look very, very interesting. Let's get this chart up, and it shows you what it is doing versus the other currencies that we don't always talk about here, and it's good to get someone else's opinion of what's going on. And as you can see here, the dollar is rocking and rolling to the upside, folks. There's no doubt about it. You can see the dollar versus the British pound. You can see it versus the yen, and of course you can see it versus what was that? That's I can't see what that one is. It's the first one is the dollar versus the euro. Then the pound, and then the yen. But they're all moving in the same direction. They could change at any moment, and that's what pattern recognition will help you with, because if you see that happening and it looks like it's getting ready to go one way, and then all of a sudden something out of the blue comes up and takes out those recent lows, that tells you that the dollar is over. Now, it's going to be over somewhere. The question is, how much higher are we going to go in the dollar? That tells us we got to watch that euro, because the euro is the inverse of the dollar, the easiest one to trade. The easiest thing to trade of all the things that you'll ever want to trade is the euro. It's just got tremendous volume. Your stops don't get run. No one plays around with that market very much, at least not for a very long period of time, because they know they're going to get burned if they do something wrong. So it's got great patterns, and it's a really super thing, to be trading. So keep that in mind if you're just beginning trading. That first chart that we saw was the British pound. The second one was the euro, and then the top one was the Japanese yen. And this is what's happening. The U.S. dollar, everybody wants the U.S. dollar, mainly because our interest rates have held up relatively well compared to everybody else. And that's a flat out big deal. That's really what you're looking at. Okay, now let's switch over here. We've got Norm Winsky coming up at the break. Always got a good show here. He's got some great Astro stuff. Here is the crude oil. This market is rocking and rolling. If you like Fibonacci numbers, it's got some beauties and ABCDs. Get this up here, and you'll be able to see it here. And there we go. There's what we've done the last couple of days. You can see that move up here. We came down last night. We rallied all the way up to here. That made this a beautiful head and shoulders pattern. There's your left shoulder. There's your right shoulder. There's your head. The distance between the left shoulder and the right shoulder, spot on. And what does it do? It drops $2,000 all the way down to the 78% level, and then rallies all the way back up. We're trading way up in here, folks. This tells you that we're probably looking at an A, B, C, D to the upside once we take this out. We've already exceeded 78% of that. You can see that's how quickly that happened. That's the one that John Hill calls a yum-yum, when you have something break that much and then exceeds more than 61% of that previous move. Most tells you that it's going to go higher because it did it so quickly. That's a perfect ABCD down here. It went about 30 pips below it, and then away it went. So those are the ones that, when you catch those are big money winners, and you want to be able to, use them the best you can. Now, the other one that we want to talk about is the treasury bonds. Treasury bonds just keep going lower, folks. They don't have any friends, and it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Let's get this up here, because we're heading down to these numbers that we looked at last week, and our goal is down there at around 36 and change, and we're not very far away now. We're getting closer and closer all the time, because there you are. You can see you have a double ABC down here at this level right here. We're already taking these lows out, so we are heading down to this level right in here, so we're not very far away. And watch that, because if we hit that, that might be the place where the stock market starts to rally. So that's what we're watching here today. So you can see it's coming down nicely, very, very close to the number we're supposed to be buying it at. and that number happens to be 136.26. We're 137 and change. I mean, we're less than a point away. So watch it, because if it fails, then there's trouble in River City. That's it. That's the main thing, because these things long term look extremely, extremely bearish. I'm going to put the chart up of let's try it again, Larry, of the Treasury bonds longer term, so you can see, we had that 135 pattern, we had the break, we went right up to 382, 146, and guess what, folks? In about 4 minutes, you're going to be able to hear Norm Winski of Astro Trends. 877-927-6648.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I believe we have on the line none other than Mr. Norm Winski of Astro Trends. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir, Larry. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. Always good to have you back. You've given us 2 good trades in the last 9 years, so every year, every 4.5 years you give us a good trade? I'm joking, Norm. You've done a great job. You really have, so I don't want to take any more of your thunder, so why don't you show the folks what you're looking at today?
All right. Well, I always like to be educational. I'm a big believer in the old Chinese proverb, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. So I haven't been on your show for, I think the last time I was on, maybe July 11th, something like that. It's been about 6 weeks. So in order to fill in, I like to do the review. We can see what the past patterns of the planets did to the markets and what works. And so I did do some public record forecasting a couple of weeks ago. It's on YouTube. If you'd like to contact me and get that YouTube, I'll be happy to send you the link there so you can watch it. So these were all on public record. This is when we had the last big cluster of major planetary activity. Now, okay, so we're going to go over we had 4 events right in a row. The night of August the 10th, as you see hopefully you can see my notes there, we had Pluto make a point to hit to the U.S. chart. U.S. natal chart is when, based on where the planets were, when our country was founded on July the 4th, 1776. Anytime we have something like that, we look at the U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and U.S. dollar. AC, by the way, is after the close. That means overnight. And then the night of the 11th, we had a full moon in the sign of Aquarius. Anytime we have a full moon, new moon, we round up the usual suspects, financials, grains, precious metals, and because it was in Aquarius, we had it running a special there on copper. Then that same night, you love this combination, I think, Larry, when you get the moon and a Mercury thing going at the same time, we had Mercury, 0 south latitude. Anytime you have a Mercury cycle, that's the grains, corn, soybeans, wheat. So that's a moon and grain, and Mercury is the 2 short to intermediate term major factors for the grains, and they're happening. It's happening all at the same time there. So that should be super powerful for the grains. We'll see in a minute when we look at the charts. And then over the weekend of the 12th, we had the moon's north node. And if you want to help with any of these technical terms, get a hold of me. I'll give you a free class to explain these technical terms. We had the moon's north node line up with Uranus, and there's both in the sign of Taurus, the bull. So you might guess that we might be looking at cattle, cotton, copper, and silver. So let's look at the charts here. We had a double whammy there for the grains. If we have something overnight, we look at the next day's opening for a possible trade. We want to see the market trending up or going up or going down. The bigger the extreme, the better. If we're going sideways, we do nothing. That's from Newton's law for every action, opposite equal reaction, and the opposite of sideways is just more sideways, and that's hard to make any money on. So here we're going up, up, up on corn. We would have sold there on the opening of the 12th. It did go a little bit against us for that day, and then we were going down, down, down. So you had 2 points there for the corn, and the green arrow means you had a chance to make some money on 2 points there. So we get 2 points. Here's the beans. We're doing the same thing, but we didn't take it nearly as much heat, I think. And it just topped out there a little bit higher and then went down, down, down. So there's 2 points for the beans, and had almost no heat on the wheat. I just made a rhyme just in time. All right, we're going up, up, up. There you go. There's the same window there for the wheat, and that was the top, and we went down, down, down. So, and here's the cattle pulling back. Had a little bit of heater, about a 1 handle, a pullback here after you bought on the morning of the 15th. We had our point for the cattle over the weekend of the 12th. And so you would have been looking to buy on this pullback here on the opening of the 15th. And it did go about a handle and then pop right back up. You had a chance to make some money. Yes, I have misses every now and then. Here's the cotton. Went up, up, up. And that was the same cycle as the cattle cycle there. And it kept going. Actually, on a pure time basis, it was within our rules. It was within 1 day of a turn. There's the top there. But it moved like 5 handles in cotton's a lot of money. That's $2,500. And that's an unacceptable risk. So I had to mark that as a miss. That's a red arrow. Here we go. Here's copper. We had 2 points there for copper. We had the moon and then the Uranus thing over the weekend. And there was the high there of the month, right on the moon, and then you had right the next day, close to the top, you could have sold there too against that high, and that worked out pretty well. Here's silver. It made a low on the moon and it popped up for our moon's north node Uranus point there over the weekend of the 12th, and that was a very nice top, and then you went down, down, down. Here's the gold pulling back into the moon. You had like a 1 to 2 day pop there on the gold. Had a chance to make some money. Here's the S&P. Three of the 4 points I had for the S&P were misses. They did not work very well. And then so you would have gotten stopped out, probably lost a little bit of money. Here's this one here was 1 day ahead of the high of the month. So we did have one winner there on the S&P. Here's your T-bonds here. They pulled back into the moon. And no, I take that back. It's the U.S. point there we had for the night of the 10th. And then you had some, oh no, that was a selling against that top there. That's right. That's a sell. You would have sold against that top there. And then it went down. And then the really nice one was the moon. On the full moon there, if you bought on the opening of the 12th, then you had a nice pop up for, I think looks like about 3 handles or so on the bonds. Here's the currencies dance to the moon. It's hey, Larry, I'm sure you took economics and finance in college. I did too. And they didn't tell us anything about the planets. They just said that the central banks were on the show. I didn't hear anything about the planets, but guess what? Here we have the the U.S. point there was the low, and then the next day we had the moon, and that's the last big low in the dollar in the about 104, 104.50 area there. And now we're, 4 handles higher, right? So that was pretty good. Here's the foreign currencies are doing just the opposite. They're topping out there on the same window. There's the moon, and there's a top in the Aussie dollar, mate. And I threw in a little Aussie there for you, And then we're going sideways on the BP. So we do, that's a yellow box. We do nothing when we go sideways. Here's the Canadian dollar, A. And we rallied up there into that. And then we made a top there. And then we had a big down the next day. And then here euro was going sideways, so we do nothing. So, we got one more to go. We got the Swiss franc. And that was kind of upspill here into that top. Could have sold against that top there, and then it went down, down, down. So if you add up the green arrows and the red arrows, you had 20 winners, 4 misses out of 24 for 83.33%. So I guess I got lucky, huh, Larry? All right, so here we go. Now we got the, here's what's coming up. We got a big cluster coming up here in just another day or two. Today's the 22nd. This will be the night of the 23rd. We have Saturn lining up with Neptune. Saturn is coffee. Neptune is oil. And because Saturn's in Aquarius, we'll also be looking at copper. Then we have Jupiter to the U.S. chart. So we're looking at U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar.
We've got to pay a few bills here, so come back with us in about 2 minutes, okay?
All right.
Norm Winsky, folks, Astro Trends. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're talking with Norm Winsky of Astro Trends out of Naples, Florida. Could you continue, please?
Thank you, Larry. I forgot to mention one of the general rules is that the stock market responds to all these points, whereas the commodities are narrow filters and only respond to certain planets and signs and so forth. So anyway, I was saying when we went off for commercial land there, we had Jupiter to the U.S. chart coming. You might want to take a screenshot of these points, by the way, and then you can monitor them live as we go. Mm-hmm. We got Jupiter U.S. chart coming up here the afternoon of the 23rd. The previous point was also the afternoon of the 23rd. So basically, late 23rd, and then we're going to have a couple of things overnight over the night of the 23rd. But then we're going to have U.S. stock T-bonds, U.S. dollars for late 23rd, it may be in the early 24. And then the night of the 23rd, we're going to have Mercury aphelion. What is that? Mercury goes around the sun in 88 days, and it's from the Greek helios, is Greek and sun. And if you see an A in front of a helio word there, like helion, that means it's afar. So Mercury will be at its farthest point. It's 88 days cycle, and anytime we have the Mercury thing, then we look at grain. So we got the corn. Oh, and also because it's involving the sun, we throw in gold too, because because gold is golden, like the sun. Corn is too. Corn, gold, soybeans, wheat. There we go. Then the night of the 23rd, also we have Uranus. Oh, here we go, Larry. You like the retrogrades, right? Uranus is going to turn retrograde the night of the 23rd, and that's anytime you have that. That's one of my top things on the planets turn direct or retrograde. That has to do with the relative motion of the Earth to the other planets. And anytime we have that, that's, I always say, when the planets change trend, the markets change trend. So we have, and because it's in the sign of Taurus, the bull, of course, we're looking at cattle, and it's Uranus, so that's electrical, that's copper. And then cotton is also a Taurus market. So we'll be looking on those markets. And of course, again, keep in mind, all these points relate to the stock market. The stock market potentially dances all these points when it's working right, Then we'll have a new moon the night of the 26th. That's a Friday. That'll be the weekend, over the weekend of the 26th. And anytime we have a new moon, we'll round up the usual suspects, financials, grains, precious metals. And because this time the new moon's in Virgo, we're running a special on soybeans. Then over that weekend also, keep in mind, Mercury and the moon are the two big factors for the grains. And guess what? We got a Mercury point here over that weekend too. So that's, again, a double whammy for the greens, corn, soybeans, wheat. So that's a high confidence window over the weekend of the 26th for the grains, okay? So contact me. I've been doing this a little bit here, got a little bit of experience. Started out, I was actually investing while I was in college there at good old Indiana State University, home of the Fighting Sycamores in Terre Haute, Indiana, Larry's hometown. And then I made enough money to buy a membership on the then fledgling Chicago Board Options Exchange and landed there after graduation in the spring of 1975. I did that. I was a floor. I also went on the Board of Trade for a while, and so I did that for about 12 years. And then I got to be an old man when I was in my 30s. I said, started looking around, where could I go? And then this electronic trading and portable quotes started coming in. I said, I'm going to the promised land. I moved to Florida, you know. So anyway, so you get a hold of me. I'll explain some of these technical terms. I'll help you move ahead here, show you how you might be able to get a high percent. What's that, Larry?
Got a question.
Yes,
the question comes from our listener in Naperville, Illinois, and his question is, didn't Einstein, when he was working on his theory of relativity, proved it by using that Mercury cycle? Do you know anything about that, Norm?
A little bit. I know he used Mercury to prove the theory, you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the exact details, but there was something about some Mercury cycle proved his theory, you know? Mm-hmm. You could probably look it up in Wikipedia or Google it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that's a little over my pay grade, but I think I remembered something like that, but, you know, it was...
Another one of my favorite Einstein quotes is that Einstein said that simplicity is genius. And so you got a lot of complicated trading methods. Yes. You got a lot of complicated trading methods out there. And I think the way to go is simple. If you notice, my thing is very simple. I don't have any moving average, no oscillators, no candlesticks, no nothing, just naked charts. Sometimes I put trend lines on there and channels, but that's about it, you know. And if you know that here's I'm going to give you my whole thing there in about 1 minute or less. If you, Mr. Gann told us that time was more important than price. So if you know the key times, you'll know the key prices. That's it. You have to know the key times, and that's it. All you got to do is be able to forecast the right time, and you'll have the right price, and then you'll be able to, with a high percentage, be able to forecast turns of the market. Yeah. So anyway, you can get a hold of me. Here's my contact information. I'm here in sunny Naples, Florida. 239-594-3939. You'll talk to me personally. There's no assistant, no robots here, just me. Okay, I'm the.
We have another question.
Yes, sir.
Do you know of a book on astrology by a man named Brahe or something like that? The question is
the Brahe book. If you're talking about Gustav Lambert Brahe, I own the English rights to that. Mr. Commander Williams and I went to Brussels and met with Mr. Brahe, and I purchased the rights to translate his book into English. Yeah. That's back about 1983 or so. Commander Williams and I flew to Brussels. He had met Mr. Brahe in about 1958. He'd gone there and met with Mr. Brahe. And you notice, if you've ever read Astroeconomics, he has like a planetary weighting system in there. He sort of borrowed that. Brahe pioneered that. He first wrote about that back in the 30s. And then expanded, which, by the way, was the first paper we ever know was an astrological paper, which was presented and accepted before a scientific body. I think it was the French Academy for the Advancement of Sciences, and then he expanded that into a book in the early, about 1940, which I own the rights to the English translation of that, which is, let's see if I remember, the Cosmic Influences in Stock Market Fluctuations is the English translation. So yeah, if you're talking about Brian, if you're talking about Bradley, that's a whole other story.
No. You have the right person, and the question is, how much do you charge for that book, Norm?
I'll have to go look that up. If you want to contact me, I will work out a deal and mention Larry. We'll get you. We'll get you a friends and family deal. You know, there we go.
How do you? What's the best way for them to contact you, Norm? Can you give me an email?
Well, you can call me on the phone if you're in the U.S., or you can email me nlewinsky at embark with a Q EMBARQMAIL.com, or you can call me on Skype at nwinsky NWINSKY_1. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Larry. Everybody,
Norm,
call me right away. This is my end of the week. Is my publication time, so I'm getting real busy. So the sooner you contact me, the better.
I will. We will do that, and thank you for joining us. We'll have you on probably right after Labor Day. So have a wonderful holiday, and thanks for joining us today. So great information.
Thank you very much, Larry.
You bet. Norm Winsky, folks, Astro Trends. We'll be right back right after these few words from our sponsor.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, I posted the chart of the Dow Jones E-mini up there showing you the ABCD, the 135 pattern that we completed on last Thursday. We went exactly 30 points or $150 higher than the 78% level, which was our sale level at 34,212. I think it went to 34,256, and now we're trading at 33,080. So it's dropped, quite a bit in just a matter of a very, very short time. That's 1,000 points in the Dow. And that's not an easy thing to do in just a few days. Now, if this pattern is correct, what we need to do, as I mentioned earlier, is watch the rally back on the first rally that we get. It'll be fast, most probably. It might last 2 days. It might last 30 minutes. It might last 3 weeks. Oh, no, it can't last 3 weeks. It's got to be very, very quick. In other words, a snapback rally, if we do get it, and I think we will be very, very short-lived. And you want to have your order setting there at the 382 and try to catch it if you can, because it's like catching a knife into the ground. Let it hit there and then pick it up, or let the safe hit the ground and then pick up the money in the safe. So wait to see that rally that we're looking at right here. Tomorrow we have Jeff Hughes as our guest. Wednesday, I believe we have Jim Bartolioni. On Thursday we have Stan Harley. And on Friday, I don't remember who we have on Friday, but we will have somebody most probably. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. Make sure you do something good for your neighbors, folks, because there's a lot of people out there that are just flat out hurting. They really are, and you certainly don't want to make their life any more difficult. So if you can't help them, do whatever you can. Drive them to the office, drive them to pick up their drugs, or shop for them, whatever it takes. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, folks. We'll see you on the flip side tomorrow. May God bless.